All right, it's Monday, December 28th, 2020, and this is your weekly look at the latest Altos Research data that came in over the weekend for the entire US real estate market. Each week, Altos tracks every home for sale in the entire US, all the pricing, the changes in pricing, the supply and demand, and we make these analytics available to our customers so that you can see the trends in the market before it becomes available through the traditional real estate data channels. This is, of course, Christmas and New Year's week, so it's wise not to read too much into the data, but there's still some signals for how we're setting up for 2021. And by the way, our monthly webinar for January is on Wednesday, January 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific. There are always some super fun signals in that first week of January. So it's remarkable to how that data, sets up the trajectory for the entire real estate market for the entire year. So if you want to be the first to have the insights for 2021, you should join us on January 13th. There is a link to register for that webinar in the description below here. And of course, I'll mention it again next week. Let's start with end of the year pricing. This few week period at the turn of the new year each year is the annual trough for pricing. The lowest inventory, the fewest new listings hitting the market. Normal years, it's really only the dogs that would be sitting on the market over the holidays. Commonly, if your house hasn't sold, you might, like by mid-December, you might pull it from the market to relist it in January or February. By the way, in the webinar on January 13th, we will dive into these details in local markets and see how that market is setting up for 2021. You can see here, our trough this year is significantly higher than it has ever been. There's simply a floor on pricing as demand remains off the charts, even over these holiday weeks. So median home price in the US is $339,900, down just a tiny fraction from last week. Our new listings price, the blue line on the chart here, is $295, also down just a tick from last week. Usually Christmas week is a big dip, not this year. We have one more down week in the price measurements here this New Year's week. Then in 2 weeks, you'll see the price of the new listings spike as the first sellers get their jump on the 2021 spring market. Some of these jumps and declines depend on which day of the week the holidays fall, but the slope of the climb, this you can see on the blue line each year, that sharp jump, that slope of the climb in the second week and third week of January is always very telling. So we'll keep our eye out for that very soon. You can see we're right at the trough right now. We're obviously at our lowest levels of inventory ever. Just 437,000 homes on the market right now active. Because demand is so high, total inventory will actually probably still decline for several weeks into the first quarter. The annual trough of inventory is usually late January, but it can stretch into February if there's good early demand before that highest volume of the spring inventory gets listed newly. So we have probably several more weeks of inventory falls. Could be 5 weeks of inventory fall before we hit that trough and we start to climb for the big part of that February, March, April, May selling season in 2021. Of course, if all the trends change, you'll see it here in the data first. So looking forward to much more with you in 2021. Realtors, don't forget to go to altosresearch.com and download the ebook for how to use market data in your business. 2021 is going to demand it from you. So that's why we put this book together. There's a link, obviously, in the description below. And more soon, the link for the webinar is also below. Join us for that one, January 13th. Happy New Year, everyone. More next week in 2021.